again. Judgment Day plus 30. Let's take another route. Yeah, some people that know me already asked me, they noticed from my videos that I'm here and there, every couple of days, I'm taking practically the same route between Vracar and Vozdovac. And they asked me why do I travel that often this particular route. But the answer is quite simple. I'm taking supplies to my mother-in-law, who is over 65, definitely not over 85. She's over 65, therefore she's not allowed to go out, and so every few days I'm practically taking some supplies to her. Yeah, so that's the story. All of us have to be responsible to our oldest, our fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, whatever. I mean, whoever is older than 65, we need to show some, to show that we care about them, because they did a lot for us in their lives. They are still doing a lot from time to time. Under the normal circumstances, we would have gone, because as probably some of you know, to Serbs, Russians, Greeks and Armenians, I believe. This weekend is our Easter, so according to the old Julian calendar, this is because our church is still so we are the Orthodox part of the Orthodox Church, and our church still follows the Julian calendar with the main religious events. This is of course not the official calendar in the state, but I mean, as far as the church is concerned, this is the calendar they follow. This is the same with us and the Russians and Armenians, I believe. With Greeks is not quite, because actually Easter is the only holiday that they follow according to the old calendar, whereas all other religious holidays they have switched to the new so-called Gregorian calendar. Next time I promise I'll sit down and read which other Orthodox churches are following the same pattern. But definitely Russian and Serbian Orthodox churches for sure. I mean, talking about the Julian calendar. Vojvode Stepe Street, rainy day in Serbia. Vojvode Stepe, I already told you the story about the legendary commander from the several wars, including the First World War. Vojvoda Stepanovic. Now one whole neighborhood was called after him. It's at the end of the street, but the other direction, the opposite direction. The place of the ex-military caserne of the ex-Yugoslav army. I mean, I've been there to this when it used to be the caserne. Visiting a friend of mine there when he was serving military service. But now it's been converted to the totally new neighborhood, quite large, and it's called Naselje Vojvode Stepe. Naselje is in Serbian, means neighborhood. The other day was the concert of, Bocelli's concert in Milanska Scala. Of course, it was only YouTubed. it's nice. I mean, it's very nice. Also, many theaters in Serbia are also broadcasting practically their shows via YouTube channels or they're funding similar ways. But what I actually find pretty amazing is that the pictures of the nature recovering. For instance, in India, some of the towns at the bordering Nepal, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time in their lives they can see the peaks of Himalayas mountains because of the air pollution for all these years. Some of them, they have since their birth practically, they were not able to see these mountain peaks because there was always this mist in the air caused by pollution, air pollution. And now that everything has stopped there, the air has cleared enough for them to be able to see the peaks of Himalayas. This is, to me, really, I mean, a really nice story. And there were similar stories from all over the world that the nature, this coronavirus gave the nature a break to try to recover at least a bit from the wrongdoing of humankind. Wrongdoing in the sense of polluting the environment. Really, these stories, I find it fantastic, really. What I noticed here in Belgrade at the very first couple of days of introduction of the state of emergency, practically from the moment when public transportation stopped, that pigeons are now walking in the streets. I mean, they are not afraid so much because the traffic obviously has been reduced to the extent that they are not afraid anymore to walk in the streets. So first I noticed, but I didn't make a connection with the coronavirus. I found it strange because I was driving the car and there were pigeons at the very street. But then when I saw it for the second time and the third one, I said, okay, this is something strange, and then I made a connection with coronavirus practically. This is how I saw the connection, but I mean, from other places in the world, the pictures are even more, the stories are even more fantastic. I mean, with regard, especially this with Himalayas and the Indians, I find it a really, great story. Now we are again at Autokomanda, the nice looking white building with the cupola and the cross at the top of it is the famous temple of Saint Sala. Saint Sala is actually, maybe only a few words about Saint Sala. Sveti Sava is believed only celebrated in Serbia. He is celebrated as the practically founder of the school systems of Serbia. His real name is Rastko Nemanjić, so he is practically one of the famous Nemanjić royal family back in the sometimes 1300 or around, and he at some point of his life he didn't want to be the ruler, but he became a monk. He went first to one monastery here in Serbia, in the southern Serbia, and then I believe also to Sveta Gora Agioro in the Halkidiki Peninsula in Greece, at the third finger. Okay, I have to admit I don't know much about his life, and I feel ashamed now because of that. But there is practically a a school day is in Serbia is the day of Saint Sava. In the last decade of January, it's being celebrated. Sveti Sava, školska slava. Yeah, definitely interesting story. I mean, instead of being a ruler, practically a king back then, because he was a member of the royal family, he decided to go the other way, and he was practically promoting school system knowledge, etc. And we say zamonashio se, which means he became a monk of the Serbian Orthodox Church. Okay, temperature in Belgrade as we speak 7 degrees. So from yesterday's 20 plus, 20 something, to today's 7. So it's quite it's chilled out. I see a nice car in front of me. I have, of course, we'll take a closer look. Let's see what our Lexus can do in the acceleration. Okay, he accelerates, but he also makes quite some noise during. Oh, it's a Porsche again. Nice. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you a pleasant day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow again. Bye for now.